American farmers are pleading with the Biden administration to help them over foreign interests. Well, joining us right now, the president of the National Black Farmers Association, John Boyd. John, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us here on the National Desk.
Thank you very much for having me.
I know this has been an incredibly tough year for your industry. You know, we've had harsh weather, we've had these high fuel prices, this major worker shortage. Talk about some of the struggles that you've had to deal with as a farmer here in America.
And thank you for having me. And my heart goes out to the victims of the storm. You know, this has been a very troubling year for farmers. We faced high costs of diesel fuel and other costs such as lime and fertilizer have tripled and really is going to have a devastating effect on the consumers in the coming months. And we're in a farm crisis and a food shortage in this country, and it's not getting enough attention here in the United States. So this has been a very troubling year for America's farmers. And as you can see, Floridians right now are trying to decide what they're going to do with their cattle.
Right.
Early this season, we lost a lot of our cattle to extreme heat, drought, and this is all coupled with everything else that's going on in the farming industry. And it's just not getting enough attention.
Well, these price hikes on food have been detrimental to American families, but as you said, also for your industry. I read many farmers aren't even breaking even because production costs and outpacing commodity prices because of that reason. So fertilizer, as you mentioned, very crucial to your industry. It's gone up, sometimes triple, quadruple in many cases. We know the Biden administration has invested nearly $180 million in international food projects on 4 continents. The president put $100 million into a program to provide Ukrainian farmers with some supplies needed to maintain future harvests. What is your message to the president? What do you guys need?
Help America's farmers first. Recently Congress repealed a measure for Black and other farmers of color. $5 billion in debt relief that many farmers were sitting here waiting on that could help save their farming operations. Instead, they repealed it and replaced it with a much softer language for distressed farmers, and still haven't gotten that aid out to America's farmers. So this administration isn't moving swiftly enough to help America's farmers. And right now we have farmers who are facing farm foreclosure. So when we see all of these announcements, $100 million for Ukraine farmers, they're sending equipment there and other items such as seed and fertilizer, and they won't help America's farmers here at home. That's the wrong message to send to America's farmers and the American people. You should be putting America first. And when these farms are sold, we're losing land to foreign entities such as China, and other billionaires are buying this land where America's farmers can't buy the land back. So we're in a very troubled time here, and the administration hasn't acted swiftly enough to come to the aid of America's farmers. And in this case, many Black farmers right now who are facing farm foreclosure. We have some coming up in South Carolina on October 4th. And we pleaded with this administration to stop the farm foreclosures, but instead they're moving swiftly since they repealed this measure. So again, this issue isn't receiving enough attention. And I've reached out to President Biden, who committed to have a FaceTime meeting with me last July. And that meeting hasn't happened yet, although he met with other leaders at the White House and, here recently, and I was excluded from that meeting. You have to come to the table and address these hard issues and these hard times for America's farmers. And the time to do it is right now.
And if you and other farmers do not get the help you need, what is the future of farming in America, John?
More farmers on the auction block, like this farmer, Mr. Walker, Jermaine Walker, who's losing his farm next week. And I've pleaded with Senate Leader Chuck Schumer in a FaceTime meeting. I pleaded with the Senate Secretary of Agriculture to stop these farm foreclosures. And I'm pleading today on this show with the president of these United States that should be helping America's farmers right now at our time of aid and time of need. Come to the table and have a FaceTime meeting and put some things in place to stop these farm foreclosures for private banks, private lenders, and guaranteed loans and direct loans. We don't care what kind of loan it is. An American farmer should not be losing the farm at this particular time in history when we're facing farm crises and food shortages here in our own country.
Yeah, well said.